Hi, I'm Laura Rojas, and I'm here with Jared Greenfield. He is visiting UNCW for UNCW's Business Week and the lecture series tonight at Bernie Center. And he's here to just answer a couple questions for us about his story and some things that we're curious about.
And ice cream. We're going to talk about ice cream, Ben & Jerry's, the Dub. We're going to talk about everything.
Thank you so much for meeting with us today. My first question for you is just what your story is. How did you and Ben come up with the concept for the company, and how did that come about, just for anyone who's curious about that?
Ben and I are friends from junior high school. We met in 7th grade when we were 13 years old. We met running around the track together because we were the two slowest, fattest kids in the class. And after I went to college and never got into medical school, and Ben dropped out of several colleges, we were failing at everything we were trying to do, and we thought, well, why don't we do something with food? And we just picked a homemade ice cream parlor.
That's great. Thank you. Yeah, and I found a quote that you said, and you said, we were essentially failing at everything we were trying, and we thought, why don't we do something together and do something fun and be our own bosses? And since we like to eat quite a bit, we thought we would do something with food, which I thought was great. And what is something that you would tell college students, like UNCW students, about persevering and really chasing your dreams and finding different passions?
Failure is not really failure. You know, a lot of times we think we're not failing, but we're really learning things. And, you know, there's the expression that to stumble is not to fall, it's to move forward more quickly. And so I think we should be seeing making mistakes or not succeeding as a normal part of moving forward.
Yeah, I completely agree. And so what is the decision-making behind making new flavors for the product line?
So Ben & Jerry's has about 5 people who work in R&D, research and development, and they are working on new flavors all the time, all day, every day. They're working on new flavors, and people in the marketing department are coming up with names. And I think the company probably starts out with about 200 ideas for flavors every year, and they end up making about 4 or 5. So it's a very elimination-heavy process.
Wow, that's great. And is it correct that your favorite flavor is Americone Dream?
That is absolutely correct. We're going to be serving some here, and I think it is very sweet of the folks here at UNCW to decide to serve my particular favorite flavor. Wasn't that a nice, sensitive thing to do?
That's fantastic. And I hear that there is sort of a flavor graveyard. What is a flavor from the flavor graveyard that you would like to bring back?
Well, so first of all, the flavor graveyard is where all of our dearly departed flavors go, flavors that just don't sell. I might like them, you might like them, but the general public doesn't buy them, and so they go to the graveyard. My personal favorite is coconut almond fudge chip, which is pretty much self-descriptive. You have to like coconut. Coconut in the ice cream world is a very polarizing flavor. So you either love it or hate it.
That's great. And just kind of a creative question. If you had to come up with a flavor for the Dub, UNCW, what would you maybe come up with using, you know, our proximity to the ocean and kind of our culture here? Do you have any ideas for that?
You know, I would have to call Ben on this. Here's the interesting thing, is that in 35 years, I never created a flavor at Ben & Jerry's. Ben created all the flavors. I used to make them. And so Ben has always been the creative driving force, and I would have to tap into Ben's brain.
Yeah, we came up with something like Seahawk sherbet or something about sea salt, you know.
Well, you know, salt and salted caramel and ice cream is very big these days. I like the idea where you're going with that. We might have to bring you in on this one.
Yeah, why not? I'd love to come in. And have you been able to meet any of the celebrities that have been featured in some of the products?
Yeah, you know, I've run into Jimmy Fallon. I've run into Stephen Colbert. You know, it's a funny thing. They really want to know how their flavor's doing. They become competitive and want their flavors to really succeed. I was just really surprised by that. They want to have good flavors.
Right. That's really cool. Yeah, the Jimmy Fallon has a Tonight Dough flavor, so I think that's been a pretty big hit.
The Tonight Dough came out, I think, last year. It's a caramel and chocolate ice cream, chocolate chip cookie dough, peanut butter cookie dough, a chocolate cookie swirl, and it's been amazingly popular. It's in the top 5 flavors of Ben & Jerry's now.
Wow. Another question that we had for you is, what is your involvement like now with Ben & Jerry's?
So both Ben and I are employed at the company, but we have no defined roles. We're not involved in management or operations. We pretty much pick the things we want to be involved in, and I like to do things with the social mission, things with social or environmental initiatives.
And that goes into our next question perfectly. So why is social activism so important for you, and what have you been able to do through Ben & Jerry's?
I think both Ben and I, over the years, have come to realize how powerful business is in our society, and business really has a responsibility to be a good neighbor. It has a responsibility to do more than just think about itself and how much money it makes. And so we've tried to see how Ben & Jerry's can use its power as a business and its voice in particular to speak out about issues.
That's great. And so if you had advice for any college student who, like I said earlier, is pursuing their dreams of their career, or wants to chase something wild that they were thinking about, like you and Ben came up with the idea for the company, what would you say to them for our viewers?
I would tell people to do something that you're passionate about and something that is aligned with your own personal values. That you don't have to pick something just to make money. That it's so much more satisfying if you're earning your living with something that you also deeply believe in.
Great. Thank you so much. Is there anything else that you'd like to leave us with?
I am totally excited to be here at the Dub. I had no idea what to expect. Being here for Business Week was a huge bonus. Being able to connect with some business students and being able to speak here is fantastic. I feel very lucky.
Great. Thank you so much for speaking with TealTV, and stay tuned for more updates about future lectures and other activities on campus.
TealTV!
Yeah.
TealTV!
Go TealTV. Let's do our handshake thing.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.